Let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal.
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!
And that might be the knockout punch.
All right, greetings and salutations. Oh man, it's a day early. But this is the episode of Fangs Up. We are doing a special little Wednesday thing. And because I have a special guest, and he was like, "Hey, we should go live." I'm like, "Yeah, let's do that." So I promise you, we'll do our best to get you out of here so that you can go catch my good brothers at the ONG Strike Zone. But man, hailing from the highest seven hills, our assistant AD for football operations, and I read it off the website, so I make sure I say it right. I try to, put some respect on his name. I don't have him treat me like Birdman. He ain't gonna say it no more. But Troy Johnson here to talk about some of the happenings that are going on in the highest seven hills, as well as upcoming camp and things like that. How are you doing, good brother?
Man, I'm good, man. Keith, I appreciate the opportunity to get on with you, man. And now I won't treat you like Bird, man. We ain't gonna talk about all three of them. You know what I'm saying? we just gonna keep it in this space right here. We good.
I appreciate it, man. And look, man, we're gonna jump right into it, y'all, because I know I caught y'all off guard. We'll replay it tomorrow for you, though, if you missed it. But he is the assistant AD for FAMU operations. And how long have you been here at on the highest of Seven Hills?
Man, I'm getting ready to start my third season in the Orange and Green. July 16th, 2021 was my official start date. Came on to help coach in the football program as the director of football operations. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the first director of football operations for FAMU football. So it's been exciting, man, and looking forward to year 3.
Yeah, I'm excited as well because, man, FAMU football don't look like what it did when I was a kid. Now, and while you've been at FAMU, and I mentioned some of the changes, how I've seen already, what's been your favorite experience while you've been at FAMU?
Oh, man, there's been a few, but I would think the one that sits the highest on my list right now is the Florida Classic of 21. Going into it, we were riding 8-game winning streak at 7-game winning streak at a time. I think we got a win before we lost to South Florida and then just ran off after that. But I think we were on a 7-8-game winning streak, and we had lost 9 times previously to those guys on the other side of the state. And Coach Simmons hadn't won the Classic since he got here, and so being able to be a part of that win and that, especially that stretch in the third quarter where we had a turnover, had a touchdown, had a turnover, had a touchdown, all of that stuff that happened throughout that 7-8 minute stretch right there in that third quarter that really separated us from them. It was exciting and by far number one on my list of exciting things that's happened since I daunted the Orange and Green in 21.
Yeah, man, that was cathartic. That's the best way I could say that. Now,
yeah,
if you're like me, I'm one of those people. When I get to stadium, any stadium, I look all around. So I notice people, I talk to people. I'm just kind of a social butterfly. But I've always noticed this. I see this brother on the sideline, and I'm like, what does he do? And I looked up. I'm like, I looked him up. I'm like, dang. Okay, this is his position, but what does he do? So, can you tell the FAMUans and those who may not be as aware with FAMU, what do you do in your position at Florida A&M University?
Oh man. So as the assistant AD for football operations, I have a set number of tasks that goes with that. One of the main things is, as the title says, operations. I'm in charge of all the day-to-day operations for the football program. And that's kind of inclusive of, our meals, how we travel, where we stay on the road, in the office that's, coordinating all of the support staffers, overseeing that whole thing, managing our team communication, with our platform that we use. And then Coach Simmons kind of just, threw some things on me and kind of named me his quote unquote chief of staff. So that has a whole nother, set of things to it as well. I am kind of sort of the conduit between the administration and the football program, whether it be university administration, athletic administration. I'm kind of a part of the Olivia Pope team. I'm one of those gladiators, one of those fixers that kind of just fixes a lot of things. Coach is a very high demanded individual from the public. A lot of people want his time and want him to come and speak to their, different groups and organizations. So I kind of help him manage his schedule. So there's a lot of things. And to be honest with you, game day is kind of the time when I get the woosah. You know what I mean? Because once the ball is kicked off and the game starts, like my job kind of falls back a little bit until after the game. And then now I'm back in the ref form, working on post-game meals and, all of those different types of nuances. So when you see me on the sideline on game day, once that ball is kicked off, I'm pretty calm unless I'm saying something to one of the officials, having some pleasantries with those guys. But it's a laundry list of things that go on in my world throughout the week.
Yeah, and one of the things I definitely noticed, I don't know if y'all follow on social media, and look, if y'all follow Fangs Up, FQ Twitter page, any of those things, y'all know I follow all of them on social media. These students ain't staying at the Motel 6. Like, these are some nice digs that these students are staying in, and the travel is good. Like, I mean, we had one snafu, and that wasn't their fault, but every other time, man, the charter buses are lit. They got, I mean, first OVC, y'all flew down there.
Yeah, and I'll say this, Keith. I know there was some talk, last week on social media, and trust me, I see a lot. I don't comment on a whole lot of anything, but I kind of just stroll and I see. But I will say this: over the years that I've been here, our administration has done a really, really good job of making sure that our student athletes get the experience that they need when it comes to travel, right? For budgetary reasons, we pick 2 flights a year. We could probably fly more, but then now we're coming to you guys asking for you all to give more so we can offset that cost in the budget, right? So we fly twice a year. And what we look at is one distance, right? The distance from Tallahassee to said place. And then 2, we look at maybe the game prior plus the game that comes after that, right? And where does this trip fit in the mix? And I'll give you an example. So last year, everyone knows we had the week 0 game in Chapel Hill, and then we had week 1 down in Miami. Well, in 21, we flew to Miami, right? We flew to Miami in 21. So we get to the table with then athletic director Gaucher, and we're talking about what our flight plans look like for season 22. We knew we had to go to Grambling, right? That was our furthest trip. So we knew that was a flight. That was already done deal. We had to fly to Louisiana. And so now we're looking at the other 2 from a distance standpoint, and that's Chapel Hill and that's Miami, with both of those being butted up right next to each other, right? And so we had some very spirited, I would say, some very spirited conversations on which one of those games we would actually, use our first flight, to go to. And we ended up choosing the North Carolina game. Hindsight being 2020, we probably knowing, if we could have foreseen the future, we probably would have flipped it. So we wouldn't have had the fiasco that we had, going on. And I can say it because it's not, it's not anything that's hidden. Everybody knows it now. but yeah, that's our thought process. So we want to give the guys an experience that some of them have never seen before. Some of them have never been a part of. And you'll be amazed in 2023 how many guys get on the airplane with us for a charter flight that have never flown before, right? And so the ability to be able to give them that opportunity, it does something for us because we're enhancing the student athlete experience. And so same thing goes with hotels. Talking to some colleagues of mine in the league, and I won't call schools out like that, but there's some schools in the SWAC today that still goes to the Golden Corrals of the world on Friday night, to offset their budget, to offset not feeding a team in the hotel. Well, the one thing I can pride ourselves on is whenever we're traveling, whether it be plane, bus, motorcade, whatever it is, when we get to our hotel, we're there. We're not leaving. So we don't have to worry, except the classic games. Now that's a totally different story because we get there and we have to move around, for practice and luncheons and banquets and all that type of stuff. But on a typical road game, when we get to the hotel on Friday, we're there. So dinner is there, snack is there, breakfast is there on Saturday, pregame is there. So everything that we do is all inclusive of those hotel spaces. And so that's why we stay in the full service hotels that have meeting spaces, that have kitchens and a chef and the whole team to prepare. So we don't have to go and sit in Golden Corral and then you got to police the buffet because your big guys are over there getting all the fried food and ice cream and all of those type things. And the guys that need to be eating, they don't want to eat because so we don't have to worry about all that. So we do a really good job of meeting with the hotel staff and myself, plus our strength coach and one of the interns that we just got over the spring semester, Maddie Buckley, who's doing some nutrition stuff for us. We sit down and we kind of come up with, that weekend menu, what that looks like on Friday night for dinner, what breakfast looks like on Saturday, what pregame looks like, what's going to be our Friday night snack and all of those type things. And the guys appreciate it. They appreciate it because they will come to you if there's not something good on that buffet line on Friday night, you best to believe you're gonna hear about it. You're gonna hear about it. And the same goes for when it is, right? When we travel to certain places and the food is good, you'll see them stay in the dinner room a little longer on Friday night. You kind of got to usher them out to get the meetings because they don't want to let that food go. So we try our best to make that student athlete experience, the best that it can possibly be, given our budgetary restraints.
Yes, and he stole my little off script spot. I was like, man, because I remember walking through the spring game this year, and I'll be honest, that was my first time. That was my first time at Fieldhouse, and I've been to college. And the only reason I was in there in college was because I knew somebody's mom, and so her daughter went to the school I worked at, and so I was like, she's like, come by, see me. So I did, and man, that thing smelled like barbecue. And me and Gerald was like, we ain't gonna steal the plate, but my Lord, it smelled good. And
Shouts out
these
to
are
Big D's,
charter
man.
flights.
Yeah, shouts out to Big D. They did our post game for the spring game, and so Big D, him and his wife Q, they look out for us tremendously, and they hadn't smelling up in there that day. Yeah, they do a good job for us.
And these are nice flights though. Like we're I don't want to say the company, but I've noticed. But these are actually like full-time flight companies that are flying specially just to Tallahassee for FAMU. They're not.
Yeah.
You can't get that flight for that company out of Tallahassee if you're not on that football team.
No, it's solely charters. It's 100% charter flights. We utilize a company that helps us navigate that space, and it's just us on there. That flight we probably have about 170 passengers when it's all said and done. Our 130 travel party, 135 travel party, somewhere around in there, and then we get according to where we're going, you have President Robinson and Ms. Sharon. They'll be on there with us. You'll have Chairman Lawson will be there. You'll have our VP for Student Affairs, Dr. Hudson, and his wife will be there sometimes. It's just according to where we're going, whether that number varies or not, from our every week travel party to extend, to some other individuals, some donors and, some people like that kind of help the program a lot. But it's a unique thing. It's a unique thing. And our guys, they look forward to it. Our coaches, sometimes they get a little frustrated because they coach football and they don't like to put on suits, and Coach Simmons makes the staff be business attire when we fly. So we have to be suited and booted. Some of our larger coaches, they don't like it because, they get a little sweat going and they got to put that jacket on. But it's fun, man. We have fun on there. We let the guys get on and relax. And you'll hear them, especially the ones that have been with us for a while and they've flown, several times. They'll be messing with the guys that it could be their first flight or, all of that type stuff. But they eat good on the plane and, they get on, relax, and there's Wi-Fi capabilities so they can, get on a laptop and do some work if they need to, and all of those type things. So we make it a fun environment, man. It's a good deal. I really like providing that part of my job for them because just seeing the look on their face when they getting off the plane or when they getting on and saying, "Hey, coach, man, we appreciate it." You know what I'm saying? That does me some justice.
And that's that excellence with caring.
Yes, sir.
That we get this, that we pride ourselves on at FAMU. And now, if I can ask, I'm hoping that Houston flight is already.
Yeah.
Are we doing Houston and Miami this year?
Yes.
Okay.
We are. Yeah.
And that Houston, that week's gonna be crazy because, man, I hope the food order is already in. That's that same week that the University of Texas plays the University of Houston in Houston, and y'all gonna be like not very far apart.
Right there, yeah, it's right there.
That's gonna be a crazy weekend.
Yeah, it's a busy week. We're fortunate. We do our planning, our hotel planning, soon as we get back. Pretty much, we get back in January, right after New Year's, and then we typically go to the coaches convention, which is that first. It's that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday of National Championship week, and so we're there at convention. And as soon as we get back from convention, I dive straight into planning for the next season as far as scouting hotels and that sort of thing. So now that we've been through a, home and home cycle on the east side of the conference, we pretty much know where we like, what hotels we didn't like. So we can, just kind of roll those back. And then, the other games that hit the schedule, we may have to do some little digging and some research on that. But for the most part, if we like you and you like us and the outcome of the game was what we wanted, 9 times out of 10, we coming back to you.
Yeah, that one game, the one game every year, man. I don't know how y'all do Valley, man. I made that drive. My daughter's grandfather, before he passed, he moved. He grew up there and he went back, and it was like that drive from Tallahassee. It's a beautiful area though. The people are very sweet. But man,
let me tell you, man. So before I came to FAM, I lived in Itabena. So my wife was the head women's basketball coach at Mississippi Valley. And I actually worked at Valley for about 1.5 years before I went to Jackson. And while the 2 years I was at Jackson, she was still in Itabena. So I commuted, a couple days out of the week from Jackson to Itabena and back. And so I'm totally familiar with living in the Delta and driving to the Delta for that matter. So
you're familiar with Moorhead, Mississippi.
Yeah, hey man, listen. We made some that first year. So I'll tell you a funny story. And not to get off script, but you brought it up, so I gotta give it to you. So the first year in the league, we had to go to Itabena, and coach is real big on making our trips an educational piece as well as football. So the first half of our trip, we'll stop, excuse me, we'll stop and do some kind of cultural visit, tour, something along the lines while we're driving, just to kind of break up the drive a little bit, let the guys get out, walk around, stretch their legs. So, you know, we've stopped at places like the Civil Rights Museum in Birmingham, you know what I mean? The battleship out in Mobile, you know, different places like that. So we're planning the Mississippi Valley trip, and you know, me and Coach, we get together probably every day towards the end of the day, and just kind of rehash, you know, today's events, talk about tomorrow's events, and anything that I may have to run by him, I share with him at that moment. And so I said, hey, you know, we go to Itabena in 2 weeks. I need to book a cultural visit. He's like, well, man, you live there. He's like, what is it? Where can we go? I said, Coach, honestly, the history is on the ride, dog. Like, we don't need to stop nowhere. I said, when them boys look out the window and see them cotton fields and see all of that, I was like, that'll give them all the history lessons that they need. So leading up to it, you know, we in there, it's the Sunday before the game, and we have our Sunday team meeting, and Coach kind of talks about, you know, yesterday's game, put that to bed, then we pick up the next one. So towards the end, you know, he says, hey, all hearts and minds clear. Anybody got any questions? So one of the seniors, he raises his hand. He said, hey, Coach, real quick. I know we do, you know, our cultural stuff. Like, what we doing this week? And he said, listen, bro, we ain't doing nothing. Y'all gonna look out the window when we get to Mississippi, and you gonna get all of the culture that you need riding down Highway 49, you know, coming out of Jackson, going towards Itabena and over on in the Greenville where we actually stayed. So they when we got there, they were like, yeah, Cole, we understand. You know, we understand. So yeah, man, it's different.
I took that 49 all the way to I-10. That man, I'll never forget. I was like, I don't know how to get back home. He said, just take the 49 till you get to 10. I said, yes, sir. I made it home.
Hey, I stopped going that way. So if I go there now, and we can't do it on the bus because of the different, you know, twists and turns or whatever. But when I was transitioning, you know, my wife back here, well, not back here, but here to Tallahassee, I would go through Montgomery, and I would get 82 and take 82 into Tuscaloosa, then through Starkville into Itabena. So I would go that route just because I didn't really like staying on 10 to Mobile. It's just so boring. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
No, I'm with you on that. Now, we do have this upcoming event. Hopefully upcoming. We need y'all to be there. The Willie Simmons Helmets and Heels Ladies Clinics, and it's sponsored by Real World Apparel. So Friday and Saturday. It's a 2-day event. What's this event all about?
Man, you know, it's the Ladies Clinic is something that started several years ago at the P5 level. They started doing these ladies clinics, and I'm kind of biased because I think the first one was in Clemson, and maybe just because I'm a Clemson grad, I think that, right? But every place that, you know, I've been at the FBS level, we've done them, and it's just an opportunity for ladies to come and learn the game of football. You know, it's kind of evolved now to where some of them are actually putting the ladies through drills. Like they're running through bags and, you know, doing hurdles and all type of stuff. So we're kind of planning a unique type of event. Like you said, it's 2 days. It's Friday and Saturday. So the Friday deal will be Friday evening, and we're going to have a mixer of some sort. That's why, you know, we said 21 and up, of course, because we'll have some spirits there, and, you know, some light hors d'oeuvres, some, you know, some finger food type things where the ladies will get a chance to just kind of meet the staff, you know, talk to the staff, kind of, you know, pick their brain on some things, ask those questions that they want to ask their husbands, but they don't want to get upset when their husband look at them crazy. You know how it goes.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So it's a weekend, man, that's solely catered to them. And like I said, it's been something that's been going on around the country, for about 10 years or so. And it's picking up some traction. And we want to, give the Lady Rattlers an opportunity to, to be a part of the mix, to know what they're saying when they're in the stands now, know the difference between a field goal and an extra point, right? There's a big difference, knowing what to look for when the offense is on the field, and understanding why you're screaming at Moose, right? Knowing it may not have been Moose's fault why he got sacked. It may have been a breakdown in the protection, or the defense might have bought one more than we were able to block because of the scheme. So just knowing the nuances of the game, and it'll give them an opportunity to, to ask those questions and get some time to spend with us on Friday. And then Saturday, we're going to dive in, man. Saturday, we're gonna ask them to put on their sneakers and their tights, and wrap their t-shirts on the side with the little bunny ear thing that they do with the side of their t-shirts, and come out and just have some fun, man. We're gonna run around a little bit, and our offensive staff will teach them one of the successful plays that we had during last season, and defensively as well too. They're going to teach them a blitz that we run, and and get an opportunity to just learn all facets of the game, man. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great event. We have a really, really good partner with Real Words Apparel, who stepped up to the plate and became the title sponsor for this event. So he's going to be in the building on Friday night as well, with some FAMU exclusive gear, from his shop. I'm actually wearing one of his pieces right now.
Okay.
So shout out to Real Words Apparel, for my gear. He kind of keep me laced a little bit, you know what I mean? Okay. So he's gonna be in the building on Friday with some FAMU gear. So we're asking all the Lady Rattlers, in proximity of Tallahassee. It's our last weekend before training camp starts, so our coaches are taking time from what could be their last weekend with their families, to pour into these Lady Rattlers. So we're asking all of you all to sign up, get signed up. info.abcsportscamps with an s.com/Florida-A&M is the website, and you can go there. If not, you can scan the QR code that's on the flyer and get signed up, man. It's $75, but I guarantee you it'll be well worth your $75. You'll get a gift bag with some FAMU goodies. Like I said, you'll have the mixer on Friday night, and then the event on Saturday. And so we're looking forward to it, man. We were not able to do it last year, just from a scheduling standpoint. So the ladies asked for it this year, and shout out to my organizers, I would call them, Miss Ty Floyd and Miss Good One on Twitter. Those young ladies have really worked hard to push the narrative, you know what I mean, to get this up and going, to get us to do it. And so shouts out to them for all of their hard work, and hopefully, we can see it come to light, and it's not an event that we don't cancel again, because it's really, I think it's really a good thing for us to have, and give the ladies an opportunity to have something that's solely for them, right? The only men that'll be there will be the ones that's working for us, so there won't be any men popping up and stealing the thunder, that sort of thing, because a lot of times that's what happens. If you think about in the NAA or Rattler Boosters or over at the 220 Club, all of those individuals, those ladies, sometimes they get overshadowed by the males because they have a question that they want to ask. They feel like it may be a dumb question, or the guys are gonna laugh and all of that type stuff. So this is an event that will not only bring light to the football process and how we do things, but give the ladies intimate space to where they can ask those questions that they've been dying to ask, and really get a true understanding of what it looks like, behind the scenes, and what football really looks like from the eyes of the people that quote unquote say they know it all, right?
Or at least learn to spiral like my AD. I don't know if y'all seen AD Tiffany Dunn's Twitter page, but man, she was at the NCAA Hall of Fame, and Sister Girl threw a dart into the basket, and I think it's like pinned on her page. That's the only reason. And I was like, "Oh, okay." All right. And she did it in a dress. I don't know if she had heels on or not. I wasn't looking that hard, but she had a dress on and was there and threw a spiral. And she over there like, "Okay." I'm like, all right, now that's when I knew she was different.
Yeah. So we inviting everybody. I'm gonna put this out there right now. So I'm challenging our administration staff, because we have some ladies in the athletic department that are former athletes, like AD Sykes and some other individuals in there. So I'm challenging them to sign up as well too, so we can put all of this talk to bed about who's the best athlete in the department from the female side. We got our academic coordinator, Ms. Carey. She was a all MEAC bowler at Norfolk State, and AD, she was a two-sport athlete in her day, and all of the ladies that work in the department, you know what I mean, that say they still got it. I'm challenging all of them to sign up so we can see, because the eye in the sky, like they say, it don't lie. So we'll put it on camera so we can come back on the show before the season starts and share, with you and the audience what that looks like. So I'm challenging all of them to get signed up.
I'm with it. And if fitness groups too, man, all y'all up there doing your fitness days, ladies get together. My wife went to the gym earlier today. Man, great 2-day experience. And you already know that Florida sun gets you right. And if you haven't seen, like, FAMU Strength and Conditioning, look, these dudes are buff. Like, they look different.
Yeah. And they'll get some time to hang out with Coach Cole, our strength coach. And Coach Cole, he'll show them some exercises that they can take back to their girl groups. I've been seeing them on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Big sis Nicole Murray she been putting it out there that she working now. She back in the gym. So Nicole, I need you to get all of your girls that go to the class with y'all. I need all y'all to sign up and get ready to be here on the 28th and 29th.
That's what's up. And I'm gonna bother as soon as we get off of our call. I'm gonna bother my NAA brethren to make sure I can drop this on the National Alumni Association page for Florida at least. Now, before I let you go, because it's a Wednesday night and I don't want to steal too much of your time, what can FAMU alumni do? As I just mentioned, the NAA, shameless plug. It's about time to pay them dues. I'm one of them, so I'll be paying my dues soon. But what can FAMU alumni and supporters do to support you and the football team?
Oh man, it's simple. It's one word: give. Give. We love your presence, but we love your gifts, right? And your presence is given too, because you got to buy a ticket to get in the game. But all jokes aside, give, man. Rattler Athletic Fund. All of the different initiatives that are going out. Coach and his family, they started the 1978 Circle, that you can give to, that help support summer school scholarships. Give to, join the NAA. The NAA is a really, really good partner with us as far as giving and offsetting some of the costs of certain things that we ask for. Like I said, the Rattler Athletic Fund, that helps us tremendously. The amount of times that I go to the foundation to pick up a check to do certain things departmentally, you would almost think certain times a year I might have another office over there, because I'm over there so much. With the ladies at the foundation and the young men over there as well too. But yeah, man, the long answer to your question is give. Buy season tickets. Become an investing in champion. supporter, donor. Join Rattler Boosters, join the 220 Club. All of the affinity groups that support FAMU Athletics and mostly FAMU football. That's the way that we can see, the love that you guys always show us. We can see it even more when you start writing those checks, Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, any method that you can get that money to those entities will be great. I think there's like a 3 or 4 site tour coming up for strike tour, stops. So if you're in those areas, I know it's Jacksonville, it's Houston. I think they're making a stop in Dallas as well as Fort Lauderdale here over the next 2.5 weeks. Those are immediate ways that you can get on the train. Buy your season tickets. They're on sale right now at University box office. Reach out to Eddie Jackson in the 220 Club, become a member there. Reach out to Selvin Cobb with Rattler Boosters, become a member there. All of those different areas, man, we see benefit from all of those. And trust and believe. You can't talk trash if your pocketbook ain't leaning towards the highest of the 7 hills, right? And I'll be the first to say it all the time. We tell our guys the same thing. Like, you can't come in the locker room and complain to your teammate about him not doing this or him not doing that when we read a list out and your name is on that list, right? People respect people who do what they're supposed to do. So do we need things in the football department and the athletic department as a whole? Yeah, we do. We need a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's any school in our situation, right? Any HBCUs, even the ones that have the highest budget out of all of them, can still use something, right? I tell people all the time, we laugh and joke, and they say, man, y'all got this and y'all got that. I said, yeah, you're right. I said, but let me ask you this question. This goes into your house, and you can take it how you want to take it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, we at FAM, we get every other Friday, right? So we get twice a month. There's no feeling greater than when that Friday come and you look at your account and see that check here. Mm-hmm. I don't care how much money you got in your bank account. Ain't nothing better than getting more money. Mm-hmm. They say, what's better than more money? More money. So, yeah, we got some things. We need some things, but the only way we can get that is by people giving. So, yeah, we may have one of the highest, revenue generated this or revenue generated that. And I'm just saying this in general. I'm not saying that we do. So, listening audience, y'all don't go tweet later on that, EFO was on there telling a lie, because they ain't. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we have things. Yes, we're able to travel well. We're able to stay in nice hotels and eat good and all that. Yeah, we do. But at the end of the day, we still want to do more. We talked about we only take 2 flights a year. Well, would we like to fly to Mississippi to play Mississippi Valley? Yeah, we would. But that costs another $98,000, right? So only way we can get an additional $98,000 is people give, cut checks, buy season tickets. You know what I mean? Join these affinity groups so that we can rest on our laurels and say that, yeah, we are school of first. We are the school of first. We are the #1 public HBCU in America. But on top of that, we're the #1 school when it comes to alumni giving. You know what I'm saying? Our affinity groups rank #1 because our people give, not only with their mouth, but they give with their pocketbooks as well too. So yeah, just give, man. That's how you can support us. Support me, support this program, give. You know what I mean?
I love it. And one of the things, and I'm a sports nerd, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm the type of person, I like stadiums. I'm one of them. And I did not know that Mr. Johnson was also a Clemsonite like Willie Simmons. But one of the things Clemson has and that they have is IPTech. IPTAY means I pay at least 10 a year.
Yep.
And it started off as something where the Clemson fans literally gave $10 a year, and it has grown to something huge. And
Yep.
Clemson is not a huge school. It's
Not at all.
actually relatively small in comparison to a lot of the schools in ACC. But look at what they've done as far as facilities and being able to compete nationally and win championships with small stuff from an agricultural school. So their demographic actually fits ours in a lot of ways that we're probably unfamiliar with.
Ain't no question. And they are, and I could be wrong, but for years, and it could be still today. I haven't looked at it lately, but for years, IPTAY was the number one alumni base giving organization in the country, right? And like you said, if you take the university out of the city of Clemson, then there's nothing there, right? But we are proud of IPTAY, and we're proud. All of us alums are proud of the work that they do on a yearly basis, right? And like you said, it started off as $10 a year. They said I pay 10 a year, and that 10 grew substantially, right? And I don't think there's anybody in there that gives $10 anymore. And they have a junior IPTAY club, right, for younger members that aren't alums yet. So you have some high school kids and middle school kids that join IPTAY in the junior level, and they give, you know, $10 to $20 to $30 a month or a year or whatever they can afford. And so the number of people that are IPTAY members, that list is long, man. I'm telling you. And there's some powerful people in there as far as the amount of money that they give. And so and that's at the, you know, that's at the highest level, right? But there's some schools that have our same profile that do a tremendous job with alumni giving. You know, I'm not gonna call any names for the sake of Twitter Nation, you know, blowing up my DMs later on. But there are some schools within our own league, right, that do a really, really good job of alumni giving. And I'm talking about a really good job. You know, so if we're going to continue to hold the banner for being number one, I would like to see us become not only the number one public HBCU again, but let's become the number one donor giving school in the country as well too, and that'll help all of our sports tremendously.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Look, Coach, I don't want to steal your night because I know it's almost time for dinner. I cooked last night, so.
Hey, I totally understand, man.
But I want to make sure I respect your time, man. So, man, thank you for coming on. I appreciate
the
you,
opportunity.
Coach. And
Yes,
we're gonna
sir.
definitely try to have you again, man.
Let's do it anytime, man. I'm open to it, especially now that we are a morning practice team. We practice in the morning, so my evenings are pretty much wide open. So let's do it, man. Anytime you need me to come on, and we can talk about whatever we need to talk about. So let's do it, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
We'll do. Well, with that said, y'all, I promise y'all I was gonna get y'all in time for ONG because y'all know those are my brothers. Like, we ain't competition, we family.
Yes, sir.
So big shout out to Herb Stewart, Black Techies. Shout out AD Troy Johnson coming on here. Hopefully we can get some more of the coaching staff on here throughout the year, get them to talk about what they need, how we can help, and maybe a little bit more. And for those who missed it, sign up. Willie Simmons Helmets and Heels Ladies Clinic, sponsored by Real Words Apparel. And as always, y'all, it's gonna be Fangs Up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.